Yo, what up, everybody? It's your boy here, MC, and welcome back to Swahili Nation, Swahili to the world. Guys, I can see today I'm not alone. I'm here with a special guest, Becky.
Hi.
It's good to have you.
It's great to be here.
Oh my goodness. Do you mind to introduce yourself before we just go on? Yeah.
Okay, my name is Becky. I'm half Korean from the United States, and I've been in Korea for about 8 years now. And I do a lot of different work from film and production and music, some YouTube.
Yeah.
You might recognize me from the Happy Project if you're watching on YouTube, and a whole bunch of other things.
You know, that's what I was wondering actually, because I know you're a musician, and I know you're a model, and I know you're a producer. How do you get to do all these things at once, like, and other stuff that you do? You do a lot of advertisements, and how do you get to do all of this? How do you manage your time?
It's desperation. That's what it is. You have to make a living. So I do every opportunity that comes my way. And that's kind of the hard thing too.
Yeah.
When you have so many interests, how do you trim down what you really want to focus on? So it is a constant struggle actually. Yeah.
Do you get enough time to sleep?
Yeah, I do actually. I'm really a sleepyhead. I woke up quite late today. It's my first thing.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, take advantage of the sleeping when I can.
Well, I really appreciate you coming down here. I know you're very busy.
No.
You know, you're always busy. I mean, I see you sometimes on Instagram. You're very busy, but thank you for spending your time coming all the way down here. And you live far. I just found out that today. Thank you for coming down and sit here with me.
Good to come.
Well, do you remember the first time we met?
The first time we met?
Yes.
First time we met? I mean, I remember instances seeing you.
Exactly.
When was the first time we met? Is this a test?
Actually, no.
Okay.
it's genuine question. Actually, I've been trying to think about that as well, but I cannot remember like what was the reason we met. I know that we met. We did some Christian carols, but I still don't remember how we met. Like
did I come to I came to one worship service once, and
at YM.
Yes, and it was I think it was a Wednesday night service. And I remember Joel was playing the drums.
Okay.
And I think you were singing.
That's when we met for the first time. I really don't remember.
It could be that time. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and we did Christmas carol.
Yeah.
I remember it was during Christmas season in the cafe.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really good.
That was
and
great.
And that was it.
That's all.
That was like 2 years ago. Wow. And yeah, so I mean, how did you feel after I reached out to you and told you what I want to do?
Oh, I was excited. I think this is cool. I was checking out your channel.
Yes.
Actually, you do multiple channels.
Oh yeah. Yes,
you started a few.
Yes.
So it was really exciting, and it was a good chance for us to just chat.
Yeah.
And I can learn more about you.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is good.
Yeah, I was really excited because I'm aware that you're doing something called Half Project.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna be talking somehow in the middle as I'm asking you, different questions. But when I was thinking about, who I wanna interview, because I was really thinking about interview someone from the States, but as well Korean. You came to my mind, and I was like, I gotta talk to her. So how do we call you? Are we calling you like Korean American? Are we call you Half Project? How do we?
Just call me Happy Project, no name. Yeah, that's actually a very good question. And still, for me, I'm very comfortable even if you can just say Korean American or half Korean. But everybody still, I think it's contested like what they feel most comfortable to be called. Yeah. So for me, I'm not fussy. I don't feel offended for anything.
Do you see yourself more as a Korean or American? I didn't plan those questions. I don't know why I'm going towards that direction.
It'd be so intense. I should have studied. I think it really depends. Sometimes I do feel I'm very American, and sometimes I feel no, I'm not American at all. I'm very Korean in this aspect. And then there's times where it's just I don't even know. I think it's just whatever I am. Trying to fit in somewhere.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Well, I call you down here today because I want to talk a little bit with you about Africa.
Yes.
And the first question, right into the point, that do you have any African friends?
Do I have any African friends?
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I have a friend from Nigeria, and we met in university.
Okay.
And he's so funny. And we went to Taiwan for a friend's wedding, and he was dressed up in very traditional wear, very colorful.
Oh, they always do, Nigerians.
In Taiwan, and he's so tall. He's so funny. And then I have another friend from South Africa. We worked together for a year. So actually, she would pronounce the country name Tanzania, not Tanzania.
For me, I always pronounce Tanzania.
Tanzania. So there's the emphasis.
Yeah.
I always wondered that.
Okay. For how long have you been like in friendship with this? Like, my question is like, when was the first time you got exposed to African culture? You know what I'm saying? Oh, Africa.
Yeah. Probably. Honestly, it was probably in university. Because we would have like this international club. They called it International Club. And then I hosted the International Culture Night. And we had everybody, all the students who were international students, came together to show or give maybe like we had a talent show as well.
Yes.
And so we had dancing and we had singing and performances and food. So that was really, for me, I think my first experience, even in the small form of multiple different nations.
Exactly.
Many African nations were represented that night. So that was
wow. And before university, did you know anything about Africa before then?
Before then?
Yes. Oh, what was your image before that? Let's say, because when you meet friends, and a lot of things can change, but I'm just curious to know, like, what was your perspective?
Yeah.
Just if you can be honest with me.
Let me try to think back then.
Yeah.
At that time, I was a very weird kid. So I think I lived in my own head more than anything. But honestly, this probably is what would first come to mind way back then, because especially you will see in Christian circles in the US, and then also showing like UNICEF ads, and then talking about like the poor hungry children, this kind of thing. And so I think oftentimes, especially you're talking about white Christian America, which is a lot of times where my community was, is that's how Africa just as a whole continent is shown as. So I think it can be very easy to have that subconscious thought like, oh, everybody's poor or nobody has shoes, and you know, this kind of stereotypes.
Exactly.
I think it's pretty prevalent.
Wow, I really appreciate that. That's very honest of you.
I'm not here to lie.
I'm loving this. This is going really well. But I believe so after university you met a friend, and you know, have you been to Africa, by the way?
No, I haven't. I really want to go.
Where do you want to visit?
Well, first off, I think I will go to SA just because I have a friend there.
Yes.
And then after that, honestly, I'm open to everything. I really just want to travel and really spend time in individual nations.
Exactly.
Hey, actually, I just remembered. I had a teacher from Ghana.
Oh.
In high school.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, she slipped my mind, but she was really so lovely.
What she was teaching?
She was teaching French.
Oh.
So
dang,
yeah,
Ghana
she was
French. Wow.
a great teacher.
That's crazy.
She traveled a lot.
Wow. So you definitely want to go to SA.
And of course, Tanzania.
I was waiting for that. I'm like, you don't consider me as your friend?
Oh, that is my first thought. I'm sorry. Without going to say it.
Yeah.
You should know.
Tanzania. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. So you were in university. You didn't know that before. You had all these things, stereotypical things about Africa. Now you have a friend. Did anything change from that point?
Anything changed?
So being close to this friend, like, you know, talking, hanging out, and
I don't think in my mind I had a negative feeling.
Yes.
You know, you would see these images.
Yeah.
But I don't think I really connected it as like, oh, it's a problem or it's the people's fault or anything like that. So I was kind of coming from a very blank slate.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I just met people on individual basis and just appreciated their clothes and their food and their humor and their dancing and music, and it was just like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I really want you to visit Africa as soon as possible.
So badly.
Yeah, to see a little bit different image of that.
Yes.
You know. Because I think even people who are seeing us here, sometimes they think like, oh, you guys, maybe you're coming from a rich family. That's why you came all the way here. So and it's kind of not the same experiencing African culture from me living here.
Yeah.
The best way you can do is to actually go there.
That's the only way.
Yeah, like you say, yeah. So kudos to that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Well, Africa, this is I prepare something for you today. By the way. This is something that my mom used to make back home, and I made it for you today.
What is that?
Well, I'm gonna let you try, but just to give you a heads up, you're not gonna die. It tastes amazing. All right.
Okay.
Because you might be like, oh, what the heck is this?
Okay. I mean, I didn't come expecting death threats, but I'm sure it'll be tasty.
It looks kind of intimidating, but you give it a try, and then you can tell me. What do you think?
I'm gonna smell it first.
Okay, sure. Definitely.
I'm gonna try to guess.
Please do it.
Okay, hold on. Bananas.
Okay.
There's definitely bananas in it. Is that sesame seed?
No.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Banana, you're right. There's a banana there.
Right, it's just a smoothie, huh?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Did your mom used to make it?
She used to make it. I think a lot of African countries they make something like this. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it's my mom's recipe.
I'm trying to think what else is in here.
Yes.
It's very banana.
Exactly. There's banana there.
What else?
Well, I have banana, have mango, kiwi.
Exactly.
That's why you see. Yes. And then
kiwi.
and then milk. Stuff with milk. Yeah. You eat this in the morning when you wake up.
So good.
And the night before you sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. So we're gonna keep having this.
You drink this and get good skin like yours, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
That's the secret.
I don't need lotion.
No.
Usually I don't put.
Just drink this. Sometimes put it on as
Just
a mask.
drink that. Yes.
You could use this as a mask.
Oh really?
I bet banana and mango is good for your skin.
Oh really? Like you just put on your face?
Sometimes people use like strawberries.
Look at that. I really need that. Yeah. Yes. Well, as you have seen, Swahili Nation is all about connecting the whole world through Swahili. Swahili is African language, mainly from Tanzania, but a lot of countries in Africa speak Swahili.
I looked it up actually.
Oh, you did?
Before I came here, I was thinking Swahili. Which countries use Swahili primarily?
Yeah.
DRC, Kenya, Tanzania, and I forgot the other. There's two more, isn't it?
Yes.
It's Bantu language.
Exactly. Right? Wow, you're good.
That's it. That's the only thing I know. Don't expect
amazing. Much. Yeah, it's the most spoken languages in Africa. Tanzania, 100%, and then you go to Kenya somehow, Congo, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi. They speak also Comoros when you go there, and some part of Somalia as well. They speak. Right now in South Africa, students they're actually learning Swahili in class. And here in Korea, like most of university, they teach Swahili.
Really?
Yeah. Where I graduated, they're actually teaching Swahili there.
That's nice. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know they had those language courses.
Yeah, it's the only African language in a lot of universities here in Korea.
Right.
So it's quite good. Okay. So speaking about Swahili.
Okay.
I was talking about Swahili Nation and what we do. We're trying to unite the whole world through Swahili. We are trying to push Swahili to be one of the most spoken languages, not in Africa, but in the whole world. At the same time, introducing African culture, right? So Swahili Nation, it doesn't matter whether you're from Tanzania or Kenya, but as long as you have been exposed to Swahili culture, which is like food, you just try, you're Swahili Nation right now.
I'm part of the nation.
Welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. So that's mainly what we are doing, and we're trying to bring awareness about Africa.
Yes.
And I started to do that because, after what I've seen, just like what you saw in the States, like when it comes to NGOs, all these Kwango videos and everything, there's such a negative image about Africa. So I wanted to create something that will give good information about it through conversation like what we're having right now. Yeah. So, what do you think? How many countries are in Africa? Yes, on the spot.
Okay. Let me think about that.
You can guess. It's fine.
Oh.
Yeah, because one of the problems that I've seen, a lot of people, a lot of Americans, I'm pointing my fingers at you, they think that Africa is a country.
Yeah.
Right? It's not a continent. So, yeah.
Oh, okay, well, I know there's so many. I'm just trying to think. Should I even go all the way up to 100?
That's a little too far.
It's too far?
Cut to half.
Oh, okay. Overcompensated. Let's go with 57.
Wow, that's pretty close.
What is it?
54.
Okay.
Yes, that's pretty good.
I am part of the nation. Yes. Thank you.
You're part of the nation. 54 countries.
54.
Yes. And all these all these different countries, they have actually different culture. So for example, I'm from Tanzania. My roommate is from Nigeria. We have different culture.
Yeah.
Right? We speak different languages.
Yeah.
Like in my country, we have more than 121 different languages.
Wow.
But all of us, we are connected with one language, Swahili. Right? When you go to Nigeria, it's like more than 500. You know, they speak English, you speak local language, you speak French, Portuguese, and all those. So it's kind of like multicultural place. You can never find like, it's kind of like bibimbap, you know what I'm saying?
I love that.
It's a beautiful place to visit. Yeah. So anything you would like to learn in Swahili?
A certain phrase?
Yes.
Oh,
phrase. It's a word.
This is important because let's say that I know one phrase, right?
Yes.
If I visit Tanzania, I need to have the phrase that unlocks the people's heart to me so that they will welcome me.
Yeah.
You know, I can't.
It's a good one.
I can't only say one thing like "Where's the bathroom?" or "I'm hungry."
Yeah.
You know, you need something that touches people. So,
you're smart.
What would be something good? See, now I tossed it back to you.
Yeah, that's why I say you're smart. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
You could say hi.
Hi. All right. So, I think
even just, I guess something simple like, "Hi, my name is Becky."
All right. Hi, my name is Becky. Or you can say Mambo. Jina langu ni Becky.
Mambo jina langu Becky.
Exactly. Okay. Jina langu ni Becky.
Oh, jina langu ni Becky.
Exactly.
So ni is like am.
Yes.
Is to be.
Yeah.
Okay. Mambo jina langu ni Becky.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that was great. Okay.
That's really good.
I'm gonna write this down.
Your pronunciation is amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. Mambo jina langu ni Becky. I'll try to write here for you as well.
Please do. Yeah, can you send that to me because I like that.
Definitely. I'll write down here for you. Mambo jina langu ni Becky. Very easy.
You're gonna see me just saying that everywhere. It's like, oh, Becky, no.
You say this. Mambo.
So it's hi.
Yes. Mambo.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Jina langu ni. How do I write Becky like this?
Yeah. So Gina, is that my?
Gina is name.
Oh, okay, yeah, it has a grammar structure.
So grammar is kind of like opposite to, English, right? So Gina is name, langu is my, ni is kind of is Becky. So my name is Becky. Yeah.
Interesting grammar structure.
Yeah, but there's another way to say this, Jina langu. Instead of saying my name is Becky, you can just say Wow, you have really good pronunciation.
So
yeah.
The secret is I actually fluent in Swahili.
Wow, you are.
You didn't know.
Swahili is very easy because you read it as it is.
Yeah.
Like as you write it. So naitwa Becky is like I'm called Becky.
Okay.
So you can just say this like Mambo naitwa Becky.
Cool.
Exactly. Oh, Mambo jina langu ni Becky. Easy peasy.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. I wonder if you know any other phrase in Swahili because we have a lot of famous phrases in Swahili. Maybe you don't know that it's Swahili, but we do. For instance, Hakuna Matata.
You know, I was going to guess, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Hakuna Matata.
That's
is
Swahili.
This commonly used? Or
yes.
It is commonly used.
It's commonly used. But also we use another word. It's kind of like similar. We say Hakuna Shida. Means the same. Like no problem, no worries.
So good.
Yeah. Another word is like Simba. Simba is lion, right?
Yeah. Oh, so it actually means lion.
Yeah, it means lion. Yeah.
That's funny.
It's Swahili. We have Safari. Safari literally means journey. Yeah, in Swahili. Yeah.
Good.
We have another word, Siri.
Siri?
You know Siri
on the phone.
Yeah, but that Siri, it means secret. It's Swahili word.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Tasty.
Yeah. So people, they speak Swahili actually every single day, but they don't know.
They don't know that.
Whenever they say, "Hey Siri," like it's.
Hey, she just popped up. There she is.
Please leave
away,
me alone.
Siri.
Leave us alone. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So about Africa, Becky. you know, as I said, Africa sometimes is very complicated because, you know, it's like a lot of culture. Is there anything that you've always been curious about? Like you really want to know about Africa or about Africans, or anything that you just didn't have that chance? Yeah, this could be your opportunity.
Because there's a difference when you're speaking with somebody that you know you are coming from a place that you of not offense, but just ignorance, and having someone who's okay to understand and okay to have that conversation. Man, it's just there's just so it's such a vast continent and so many different people and language and cultures. It's almost like, how do you even start?
That's true. I haven't even visited like all the countries yet. I want to go everywhere.
How many have you visited?
Not a lot. I've been to South Africa. I've been to Ethiopia airport.
Okay.
That's it.
Well traveled. I see.
That's it. That's it. But my plan is to go everywhere.
Yeah.
Create this content everywhere and to meet, because I have a huge audience from Africa. So I just want to go there and meet up with them. Yeah.
I have a question. I knew one girl. Her father was a king.
Okay. Wow.
I'm trying to remember which country. My friend's floor mate in university.
Okay.
I only met her once or twice. But oftentimes, like in each country, is it broken down, the government system? Yeah. Is it broken down in, let's say, minor kingdoms, for example? Or do you have a centralized government? Is it all countries are democratized? Yeah. Wow, that's a really good question. How does that look? That's an amazing question. You guys will help me out if I don't understand. But you're sweating. It's just too hot in Korea right now. It's more hotter than Africa, actually. You know right that? Now? Yeah. You know, like in summer, like in Korea, it's hotter than Africa. Yeah. I think many people would not expect that. They will not expect that. Like most of people, they think Africa is the hottest place on earth. But actually, during summer there, it's quite chilly than here because we don't have humid. Yeah, but here in Korea, humid is too. Yeah, exactly. Coming back to your question, I was trying to avoid that. Yeah, you can't avoid it. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of countries. So when you go to for example, North Africa, not every country. For example, Morocco, they still have like kingship style, so they don't really have like let's say like president and everybody. But when you go to East Africa, when you go to most of places in West and South as well, we have, you know, democratic government. Yeah, so I cannot talk for every country because a lot of them, and I don't really know, but I can only speak for the countries that I know. Yeah, in my country we have democratic government. Same thing too when you go to Kenya. Uganda is a little bit different story because the president has been there for more than like 20 years and he's still there, even though they do what do we call that? Election. Yeah, election. So he's been coming back and coming back. Yeah. People and just win. Love him here. Exactly. Yeah. And people, they see things are moving forward, they're like, you know, why not? We still need you. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So we have different. I believe in some part of African countries we have different kind of Democrats. Because when you talk about Democrats, everybody think about Western style. You know what I mean? But in Africa, we kind of have our own way of doing it. And that is, you know, some other people, they are okay if president is there like for 10 years, 15, 20, as long as he does some good to the country, they're like, all right, let's just keep it up. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Did I answer your question? Yeah. Obviously, it's a very big, you know, it's a big spectrum. But the other question that I had, and this might be more like a historical context thing, and I don't know if there's even a root that can answer this, but where did the beginning of this false narrative happen? Where, especially in Western nations, thinking, oh, all of Africa is so poor or uneducated or doesn't have water and has this kind of blanket statements or stereotypes that is put on top of Africa as a whole. But where did that even begin? I really love your question. My goodness. This is good question. Maybe you should have studied. This is good question, man. Guys, check her out. Half Project. She has YouTube. She's doing amazing. Hey, I've been following you. I've been seeing YouTube, you know, that you're doing. It's amazing. And I love your question.
coming back to your question. Because I'll attach the link down in the description. You can check it out and subscribe, please. Well, I think this is just my thought. I think everything is started from slavery. I think from slavery, like I think the world started to look kind of like down in Africa. Let's start from colonialization, slavery, and all those kind of things. And so already our image was already created as these people. They will just be there to support, or I mean, not really to support, but to work for us, right? To do whatever we're telling them, because they're dumb, they don't know anything. We're going to teach them what to do. So what they did is they came to our country and they saw like the Lake Victoria, and they call it Victoria because they were the first like people to discover. Exactly, they're the first people to discover that lake. But it doesn't make sense because you always had local people there, see the lake and everything. But you know, so I think everything is started there, and after that, you know, I believe in neo-colonialism. Like these days, you see there's a lot of treaties have been made with African countries and America and China. It's kind of like it's a new way, and I think a lot of young people like me and a lot of Africans out there, they're actually waking up and knowing that no, actually this is a strategy, because Africa up to this point we are very rich, to be honest. Like just talking about Tanzania, it's very rich country. We have all kind of minerals you can guess, and we have even precious minerals that you cannot find anywhere in the world, like something like Tanzanite. Let me show you just for a second as I keep sharing this. Tanzanite, I don't know if you heard about this before, because if I show you this, I think Tanzanite, you have to tell whoever is okay right here to get a gift, something like this. This is Tanzanite. Yes, this mineral can only be found in Tanzania.
Wow, it's really beautiful color.
Yeah, and you use this for rings, and for chains, like ladies, pretty much. Sometimes they use even for shoes. You see, if someone wants to propose to you, just tell that I want Tanzania.
What?
It's very expensive.
It's gorgeous.
Yes, and it's beautiful. You can only find this in Tanzania.
Wow.
And so many. We have uranium. We have like all kind of minerals that you can mention. We have them. And so a lot of, like, let's say Western and Eastern part of the world, they see that of potential. And because we are lacking a little bit, we're lacking technology. So what happens is they're coming to take stuff like this, produce, and actually bring them back to us with higher price. So what happened is it's kind of like just taking things away and, you know, bringing back to you because you don't have technology. So there's not really like and I think that's one of the mission that personally I started, Uniting Africa, One Africa. It's another, you know, YouTube channel that I run. And the point is, I think Africa is able to do all these things on their own without needing help or support from the Western country. Because what happened is our leaders sometimes they kind of like they become blind because of that. They think about the support and all these projects that are coming home, but in reality we are losing more than what, you know, we get. So but if Africa, we come together and we support one another, what's gonna happen is we're gonna have, I mean, we have technology, we have countries that are doing amazing. If we unite together and we work together as an African, I think the continent will be like, in a couple of years, actually in the future, it will be a leading economy in the world because we have all the resources, we have everything that we need. But like, there's no pollution yet in Africa. Like if you go there, the air is clean. Like the sky, you can see thousands and thousands of stars in the sky. You cannot see that here or in China or some other countries, but you can see that in Africa. Food is amazing. We have organic food. That's why in Africa, people, they don't die with cancer because everything is natural there. The chicken, you test like real. I don't know what.
Drooling too. I'm getting hungry thinking about this, and I ate right before I came.
Have some smoothie here. So
satisfy this hunger.
Yeah. So I think everything started from there, and right now it's actually it's really getting worse. Some of our leaders, they are actually this is hard for me to admit, but they are corrupted. So what happened is they only look on what is good for them and not what is good for the country. So they make all these treaties with, for example, some of the treaties that I heard that was back in the days back home. Like somebody come to your how can I say, to your country and say, hey, I'm gonna build this industry, and for 20 years we will own this, and after 20 years you guys, you can have it, it's for you. But what they're thinking is, they're coming to your country, they see there's a potential of finding minerals in that place, so they build their project, and for the next 20 years what they do, they take everything that is right there, and you don't know, you have no idea. 20 years later they leave you with something that 20 years later, I mean, a lot of things is not gonna be the same, right? You don't really need what they gave it to you there. But you see some of our leaders, they agree with those contracts, and then they get it. So
yeah, because it's short-sighted, and
exactly,
when you get in that kind of leadership position, I think it's possible for anybody.
Exactly.
When you get that power,
it
can change your mind. You gotta pick the right leaders.
Exactly.
To change your country.
Hey,
that's what you're doing.
Exactly. So we're really trying to encourage young Africans there that, you know what, if you want to get education, go out, all right, get your education, but then at the end of the day, go back home to develop your country. That's very important. You cannot sit down and be like, I need your help, or somebody come there from wherever they are that, hey, I want to support you. Nobody really want to support you for nothing, you know what I'm saying? So Africans, we have to deal with our own problems. We have to support each other. We have to be one, and we have to change our own community and not looking somewhere else. And of course, other reasons are like all these NGOs and the image. When you go on social media and internet, when you just type the word Africa, you'll see everybody will think about zoo, about animals, about lion, about all those stuff. But Africa is more than just that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't know if I answer your question.
No, that's very powerful.
Yeah.
It's not an easy change, even in smaller scale.
Exactly.
But I do think that really, like anything that creates a country or a community, a culture, it always comes back down to the people.
Exactly.
You know, so I guess you have to start with,
that's true,
anywhere you're from, having a pride of being who you are, and
Exactly.
then want to have the best for your society.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. You made it sound really good.
See, that's all I do. I take what you said, I just repackage it, but it's all your words.
No. Wow. I don't know how to end this, but
Is it over already?
Oh, we can go on. Okay. We have another 30 minutes.
Wow, that's so interesting to me.
Yeah. But I really wanted to ask you something, but I cannot. I have to think how to ask you this. Wow. Okay. So coming back to you, all right, and with the identity struggle that maybe you have been through, right? Like let's say being here in Korea and people thinking that, oh, she's Korean and she don't speak Korean, oh, she looked like Korean, all those struggles. I think that's one of the, it's not really similar, but it's the struggle too that a lot of Africans have, especially when you go out, right? Like I remember first time when I came here, people, they didn't think that I was African. They'll ask me, are you from the States?
Oh,
US?
Okay.
Yeah, that they will
assumptions.
Exactly. They will think like that, and they will never mention Africa because for some reason, some of them, they don't really believe that, you know, African, I'll be able to come all the way here. Yeah, and they'll ask you a question like, how did you get here? And then I'll say, I walked. I walked all the way here. Yeah, but my point is, the struggle that you have been having is the same thing, that it's almost the same thing that sometimes we have. How do you deal with that expectation? You know what I'm saying? Like looking at you and I expect something from you, but you might not be able to deliver those expectations. So how do you deal with that? Honestly, if you can give that advice to some diaspora out there.
That's very tough because in responding to that, it's kind of like one self versus the whole. It can feel that way. True. You know, the whole thinks this about me and I can't match up to that. You can feel very crushed under that uneven burden. I think really like it comes down to a very real self-awareness, looking at yourself very honestly, say, this is what I know, this is what I don't know. This is what I am, this is what I'm not. And if you're constantly trying to live as somebody that you are not, inevitably you're going to disappoint yourself first, And then you'll probably disappoint other people as well.
That's true.
And that can just become a very bad cycle. And then the other thing, which is a lot harder to do, I think, is to eventually realize that how people view you really ultimately doesn't hold a power over you and your value.
Exactly.
And and who you actually are. But it's not an easy thing because you don't have, in many cases, that backing society or community around you to support you. Just like with the Happy Project, it's always, not always, but we'll oftentimes have people being like, I felt so alone my whole life, and this is why I couldn't talk about it. So we want to say, hey, this community exists, and we're behind you as you're working through these struggles and difficulties. But it can feel really lonely when you are just you by yourself against, it feels like, against the whole world.
The world, what do you think is the view of Korea towards Africa? Because you're half Korean, so that's the hard spot right there. What do you think about that?
You pretend the interview is over, and then you're like, and now the hardest question of all. Oh, good question.
Okay, you can have cold water right here. Yeah, you might need it.
It's a good question. I'm trying to think about like me growing up, and oh gosh, I think I'm trying to think also, like trying to see about any historical context I could put in here, rather than just my own anecdote.
Exactly.
I think just Korea didn't have much interaction with Africa, any nations really, for a long time. Korea was really locked off from many places. For a very long time. So I think sometimes the reaction that Korea has is either influenced by Western countries. For example, especially the US.
It's true.
We talked about that earlier. And then also the ignorance. And I don't mean ignorance in a negative sense. It's just a lacking of this study or awareness. Exposure. And that's changing today. And I hope for the better. And I hope it will continue to change for the better. But and it definitely exists this I will definitely say there are racist mindsets. Absolutely. Against anybody or any nation that Korea might have the concept is economically less than them. And so sometimes I think Korea as a nation is fed false narratives. Honestly. But I believe it can change over time because I don't think there's an innate hatred that exists in Korea and Korean people's heart.
Oh, actually that was my next question, but you just put in there because I was about to ask you, do you see a change maybe in the near future or far future when it comes to Korea? Because when I came to Korea, actually it was the first time that I found out that we actually call people like Wegugin, right? You cannot go to another nation. For example, if you go to Tanzania, people, they're not calling them as a foreigner, right? Because of the culture and everything. So do you see this maybe in short term or long term, this gap between Koreans and Wegugin kind of like reduce a bit? Because right now,
the gap is big.
Exactly, it's big. And even if, let's say, I'm black, right? I was born here in Korea. I'm Korean. I speak Korean. But still, even if I say that I'm Korean, they're still not gonna see me as Korean. They'll see me Wegugin because I look different, right? So do you see that changing? Maybe?
It's gonna change. The thing is, it has to change. I think it's inevitable. It's now just a matter of how difficult are people going to make that. How hard are they gonna hold on to the old ideals, before accepting the reality has changed. But I think it's gonna be a long journey. And my hope for Korea as a country is that we will change not only just our mindset on an individual basis, but even overall just how the country is run, the education is, how children are taught. Because that is going to ultimately change over time. And my big hope is that Korea will learn from the mistakes that the US has made, especially when it comes to racism, right? And because the US is struggling with that because it's just choosing to ignore that and put this down. But Korea has an opportunity to look at it in the face and say, oh, well, okay, that's not who we are, and that's not what we want. So that is kind of my hope. It's it's the same thing that a lot of half Koreans have experienced in a short amount of time. At first it was, you are not us, you are the outsider, we hate you. And then it's now become, well, we don't mind you, you're not one of us, but I mean, we like you. And then maybe it will change as, oh, you're just one of us. And that's my hope. But I think it always takes a long time. Yeah.
Well, I've been talking to, first of all, I like how you put that. It's awesome. You said, we as Korean. I like when you do that, because sometimes when you talk about issues facing Korean, when I talk to, let's say, my Korean friend, they always kind of like exclude themselves. I say, Koreans, they're always like this. And I'm like, you have issues everywhere. I'm not trying to say that Africa is perfect. We have a lot of issues. So I have a lot of my friends, young Koreans, and most of them, when I talk to them, they always want to leave. Yeah, they don't want to live here in Korea.
They don't want to leave the conversation. I don't want to hear that. You mean leave the country?
This is another question.
Wow.
Yeah, they want to, like, when you're asking them about their plan in the future, they say, you know what, I just want to move to Canada or US or to the UK. I cannot raise my family here. I don't want to raise my kids here. So when I think about all this change that we want, I know young people, they're playing a big part to that, because even where we are right now, I think a lot of young people, they're very aware with what's going on. They're exposed, so they kind of act differently, and they are reducing the gap a little bit. But most of them, they want to leave. They want to go to another countries. My question is, how do we change that? Like, because
well, I feel like I'm running for president. What policies are you going to put into place?
Let me say this. I've watched a lot of your interviews you're doing, and I like the way you do it, because you do it, it's very intellectual. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can tell that this person has done her homework, and she's really smart, and you ask something that is really deep. So I wanted to do something, at least I learned that from you. So what do you think about that? How do we change that? Because most of them say, I don't really like how things are running, I don't really like my culture, you know, I'm stressed and all those kind of things. I feel free when I'm there, but if everybody's gonna leave, then what's gonna happen? That means all the problems, they're gonna remain the same, and all these young people who have been exposed to different culture, they cannot bring change here, because they're young, and nobody listens to young people. You know what I'm saying? So how
can that be done? I mean, if you look at societies or countries from a macro point of view, greater than my lifetime, you can then see how certain movements or certain leaders, books even, or moments, events, that if you look in the macro perspective, you might think this was a waste of time, or a waste of your life, or a waste of their energy. But in the macro perspective, you see, wow, that made a big difference and a big change. And I guess on one hand, sometimes we feel like we don't want to sacrifice ourselves, my life and my energy and my time to change something that maybe I won't see the benefit for. That's a very hard mindset to change, honestly. But I think if you have to have this kind of bigger perspective, maybe it's not going to change in my lifetime, but maybe in my children's lifetime, there will be something better for the future. But I also think on one hand, we have become very materialistically driven, because we are constantly heard, you have to be successful, you have to go to good school, you have to get a good job, etc. And it feels impossible to reach those standards. And we are always thinking, that to me, once I finally get that, finally I'm gonna live the good life. But it's temporary. So as a whole, I honestly think doing social media and these conversations, looking back at history, understanding where you came from, where your parents came from, that will really change your perspective on, okay, what do I want to do now? How do I want to move this country, this culture, my world? And I think this is why individual leaders are very, very important.
Yeah.
When you, at that moment, you have the person who is charismatic, who's well-spoken, who's educated, and has a heart. Those combined is a rare thing. But when they appear, I think that great things can happen. And who knows who is listening and who is watching, because you can be that next leader. So you got to believe that.
It's amazing.
That's what I think. But again, I don't have a great, you know, this is the 10-step way.
Yeah, I'm just glad that you're sharing your opinion. And I think I've read the bio of your Instagram. I like it so much.
Oh, my Instagram?
Yeah. Oh, what did you write there? Do you remember?
Suffered over that so much. What should I write? What should I write?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I feel like you're living on that. And this is my final question. Right? Final question. From Christian perspective, you're a Christian, I know, and I am. I love Jesus. About all these issues that we're talking about, because most of the time I find myself, when I come to this, I found myself really trying not to offend anyone. But at the end of the day, I mean, I'm a Christian, right? And sometimes I might think I know the answer, but I don't really know the answer, right? So I would like you to share a little bit perspective about that. If you stand from a Christian perspective and talking about this, what would you say?
Talking about
all the things
we
exactly
about changing perspective.
Changing perspective and everything.
Ultimately, of course, it will come down to my foundational beliefs. As I think in all things in your life, the choices you make should come down to what you really want and believe.
Exactly.
But I think it's important, especially for people who are not Christian, or people who view the word Christian in a certain perspective. Because unfortunately, it's been twisted and broken and turned into a very hateful thing in some cases. So if you ask me, it really just comes down to, who do I know I am? Okay, well, I believe that I am a daughter and a friend, and this is all the things that I am, the identity that I built for myself, and that I am daughter of Christ, daughter of God. Okay, so what does that mean? Then I'm supposed to mirror him. And if he is ultimately all loving, then shouldn't I be all loving? And that for me is like the biggest thing that I think about, because it's very easy to get caught up in what society says this is loving and this is not loving. Right? And when it comes to really difficult issues, like really, really difficult, controversial issues, and I don't want to say it here because I don't think it's the time and place, but anyone can know what that is in their own political sphere. When it comes to those issues, I just look at it from this perspective. Okay, how can I love this person without judgment? And I think that that's not always mirrored well in society.
That's true.
But that's really what it comes down to. And that also takes the burden off of me. You know what I mean? Because if I'm coming with like, I gotta change the world because I am a great person and I have talent, I'm blah 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 blah. And then if you can't do it or you don't see it happen in your life, it's like, oh, I'm a failure.
Run
in
away,
the end, you just leave, like those people who leave your conversations. So you just have to, be like, okay, I'm here in this time and place to love this person, and that's the best that I can do. I think, take that undue burden off of you, because in the end, you can never change a person.
Exactly.
You cannot make that change happen. You can only show them how you live and show them that you love them. And that person, it will change themselves.
I love it. I love it.
Thanks.
I love it. Especially I love the word you use, the word mirror. Like, as a daughter of Christ, as a son of Christ, I have to mirror him, right? I have to reflect him upon this world. And I know it's loving one another. It's making peace, is just being who God created me to be and who he wants me to be. And in that way, I think the world can be changed, but not by me doing something, but by me just being who he created me to be. Appreciate so much, Becky.
Thank you.
This was an amazing conversation.
This was good.
Yeah, it was good.
I like this a lot.
Wow. Like we talked about a lot of stuff. Like Now I'm thinking, should I put it in 2 different episodes? I'll figure that out later.
Okay.
But this was amazing.
This is good.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming down here. Swahili Nation family, you know, they appreciate you. Guys, Becky right here. You know, check her out. Yeah.
Naitwa Becky.
Wow, you remember that?
I did remember.
Wow.
I wasn't listening to any conversation. I was just practicing.
Mambo naitwa Becky. All right, so as we're wrapping up, because we already finished, but I'll teach you this in Swahili. Okay. If you want to say bye-bye, in Swahili we say kwaheri.
Kwaheri.
Yes.
Kwaheri. Yeah. Do you have an emphasis somewhere?
No.
Kwaheri.
Kwaheri. Oh yeah, Kwaheri. Are you English teacher?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
I'm speaking Swahili. Why do you ask?
Emphasis. I never thought about that. But yeah, definitely is hairy. Hey. Kwaheri. Yeah.
Kwaheri.
Yeah. All right, guys. Yeah, do not forget to love one another and spread peace wherever you are. Swahili Nation, Swahili to the world. Kwaheri.
Kwaheri.
Yes. Wow.
Hey, that was great.